When you were younger, you didn't see what.
Hey everyone, it's iamyourcryptonite, and today we're covering Intro to Solana, Part 1, How Solana Works. We're going to cover a little bit about decentralization and staking in the first part so you can better understand how Solana works. Don't worry, if you're a beginner, this should be pretty easy to understand, and let's get started. Hey Robinhood users, did you know that to process your trade on the NASDAQ, someone actually has to pay the NASDAQ to get a machine set up that's connected by cables that's exactly the same length as anyone else trading? That way, everyone gets the same information at the same time. And this works great. It does 500 transactions per second. Centralized. Hang on, I thought this was a crypto TikTok channel. Why are we talking about stocks? Okay, so crypto people care a lot about decentralization. So instead of having that single node like the NASDAQ, they want to achieve the same capabilities, but decentralized. And there's no one person controlling everything. But it was way easier when there's only 4. But this, it's really hard to communicate as quickly when you have to talk to 20 gajillion other hosts. Solana had a crazy week, not just because of hype, but because of their very interesting way of solving this. Follow for part 2 to know if you should be writing Solana. Hey everyone, so that first TikTok was really quick, right? What I wanted to showcase was that crypto is moving really fast, but one tech sector that's growing particularly fast is DeFi. It stands for Decentralized Finance. And so the reason why I gave the NASDAQ example is because NASDAQ is obviously associated with finance in America. And being able to trade at those transaction speeds that the NASDAQ trades at is extremely important to make DeFi very, very successful and also helping move crypto forward. Enjoy the next TikTok. This is a very famous triangle where you can only pick 2. For people who say it's impossible, it's just very difficult to get all 3. This is a triangle for college. Hard to do it if you're not perfect. This is the same triangle for business. Cheap, fast, good. Very tough to get all 3. So awesome, you understand these triangles now. Let's bring it back into crypto. Blockchain Trilemma gives you 3 options: scalability, security, decentralization. Check in my last vid to understand scalability and decentralization. The only one you don't know about is security so far. Basically, you want your stuff to be secure, otherwise you get robbed. And no one will help you. Getting robbed in crypto is such a huge topic that we say rugged instead of robbed. We need a terminology to describe it in our community. Solana is a crypto that's positioning itself to be the best at hitting all 3. Follow for part 3, where I talk about how Solana does this using proof of history. Okay, that was a lot. I really hope you enjoyed that triangle. When I said Solana is going to be the best at achieving all 3 or is wanting to achieve all 3, I do not mean it has done it already. Nor do I mean that Ethereum has already done it already or Bitcoin has already done it already or that they're not good enough. Also, I want to emphasize here that Solana is not more secure than Bitcoin or Ethereum. Ethereum and Bitcoin are more secure than Solana because they place a heavier emphasis on decentralization and on security rather than scalability. I talked about getting rugged, which means you got robbed, and it's such a big topic in our community that, again, we needed an actual term for it. Hope you enjoy the next video. I can teach you about the technology behind this crypto that Jason Derulo is tweeting about in less than 60 seconds. You and your friends are about to go out. You guys are like texting each other and making plans. As soon as one person texts, like everybody sees it in order of the time that they're sending it. Life is good, right? Life is good. But imagine, you need to make a group event, but group chat does not exist. Like you can only message one person at a time. Like you text your homies, you're like, yo, I hit my head really bad. I'm bleeding. If I bleed for another 30 minutes, I'm gonna die. Can someone take me to the hospital? I'm asking who can take me to the hospital. And you have to send that out to each and every one of your homies in that 10-person group chat. Once they get it, they each individually have to confirm with the 9 other people that you individually sent them that. Decentralization means it's not 10 homies, it's like millions of homies. The technology for Bitcoin and Ethereum are not like group chats, they're like DM, the slow DM. Solana is like a group chat, it's like timestamp. Though not exactly, because with Solana, it has to be your turn to text. Otherwise you can't text in the group chat. Next vid is about the security of Solana. So, that TikTok was definitely confusing, right? I didn't mean it to be that way. What I was trying to emphasize is that Ethereum and Bitcoin, they're really good at what they're doing, at doing what they need to do. But they're very slow right now because of the mass that they've reached. So communicating with them is like communicating in separate emails or communicating with really bad one-on-one DMs and waiting for everyone to somehow confirm that they've received it, and everything just takes so long to plan. It's basically like traveling down the block to knock on each of your friends' doors, and then they need to knock on each other's doors to confirm that you've knocked on their doors, and then it's just a mess. But it's super secure and it works. Solana's really fast because they don't do that. This is one of the most important concepts that even crypto people don't know much about. At the beginning of the video, I only had 4 articles of clothing on. That is Bitcoin's Nakamoto coefficient score, 4. This score measures the number of current big players who have enough voting power to do whatever they want for the rest of the blockchain. Currently, 4 big players decide on Bitcoin's future. These are Bitcoin mining companies like Bitmain. Ethereum score is 3 or 4. You want a higher NC score. It's safer and more decentralized. Okay, you're still here. Let me expand on Bitcoin and Ethereum. I said I would introduce staking to you, and in my future videos, I am going to be talking about mining, particularly the Evergreen Chia miner. My friend Dylan is the founder of Evergreen, and he was super kind to explain to me something about ASIC resistant chips versus non-ASIC resistant chips, and also staking. So let's start off with Bitcoin mining, actually, before we get to staking. So Bitcoin is on a blockchain where if you have better and faster computer hardware, you will mine Bitcoin first before other Bitcoin miners. So this results in a lot of Bitcoin miners who want better and faster equipment all the time. And as soon as there's better and faster equipment to mine this Bitcoin, their old mining equipment is deprecated, and then they sell it to some schmuck and they get the best hardware. And over time, because they are mining the most Bitcoin, they have the best equipment, they are conglomerates in this industry. So why Bitcoin's Nakamoto coefficient is 4 is because the 4 biggest top players are all these Bitcoin miners, and they control everything. Like, no one can outmine them because they have the best equipment and they have the most Bitcoin and the most capital. Like, they have everything. Now, let's move on into Ethereum. So if Ethereum is ASIC resistant, which means like you cannot mine more Ethereum because you have better, faster computer hardware. It doesn't exist for mining Ethereum, if that makes sense. With Ethereum, you can have your Ethereum and you just keep it there. And you can earn rewards for keeping it there and doing some other things that are a bit more complicated. But to do that, you have to have 32 ETH, which right now is about 100K. Most people don't have 100K to just put in crypto right now, especially if it's fluctuating. So what you can do instead is, for example, on Coinbase, you can say, hey, Coinbase, I'll give you my Ethereum and you can give me the rewards. And what Coinbase does is it takes all the Ethereum from all its users and it earns even bigger rewards because they pool it all together. Okay, does that make sense? So with Ethereum, why it's 3 or 4, why its Nakamoto coefficient is 3 or 4, is because there are 3 or 4 big staking pools where all these groups, like Coinbase could be pairing up with somebody else to join their pool, and they just combine forces to get even more transactions confirmed and to get more rewards for staking. That's why there's 3 or 4 on Ethereum. Solana is extremely interesting because as of this moment that I'm aware, its Nakamoto coefficient is 19, which means there are more people in charge of making the decisions. It's not just 3 or 4 people, it's 19 people. If you're wondering, hey, is Solana's Nakamoto coefficient going to go down? Is it going to wind up like 3 or 4 like Ethereum and Bitcoin? Answer is, I don't know, but what I do know is last December 2020, Solana's Nakamoto coefficient was 8. And in less than a year later, in 9 months, they added another 11. So you can look at that arc and make your own conclusions. Congrats, you finished the series. If you liked it, and if you didn't like it, you probably don't like cute editing and simple explanations. Anyways, I'm going to be publishing more videos that are extremely cute and also more beginner friendly compared to before. It was really dense before. So subscribe if you want simple, beginner friendly YouTube videos about crypto to send to your friends and family and for yourself. I'll see you guys in my next video. Oh, and let me know what topics you want me to cover in the comments. Please, I definitely need some inspiration. I have a few, but I don't know if you guys would love it since there's only 87 of you. So please let me know what you guys think, my few but very loyal fans.